What's up guys, my name's Avery. I love investing in real estate, and that's why in today's video I'm going to go over the property that I just got under contract. As I said, I love investing in real estate, which is why I'm always interested in buying more, looking at new deals, and recently I just got under contract on an awesome 2-bed, 1-bath cabin about a half an hour from me and pretty close to the Raleigh-Durham area that I can utilize as a short-term rental. I own over $3 million worth of real estate, with the majority of that being long-term rentals, and I also own one Airbnb that does pretty well in Pinehurst, North Carolina, an awesome golf destination. That is a beautiful luxury property that does quite well for me, and I really enjoy it when I go visit it myself. And because I really like Airbnb now, maybe not as much as I like long-term rentals, but I think it's a great viable solution for you to make some awesome income that could be much better than potentially the W-2 job you're working and allow you to achieve financial freedom. I also was interested in some of the different type of stays that they had to offer. So I noticed on Airbnb they really push these tiny homes, unique stays, cabins, and other type of stays like that are not just a single family house that you could stay in that could potentially be a long-term rental, but something that really seems like it's unique for Airbnb and short-term rental type of stay. And this property really fits that build. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath cabin, and it was built in 2017. It was listed for $299. Currently I have it under contract for $290, but things can change. We'll see where the appraisal comes in. I think it'll come in right there or maybe a little bit above, and potential options for negotiating after inspection, things like that. So we'll see where I actually come in at close date. And before the end of this year, I really wanted to be able to buy 3 properties. So I bought my Airbnb in April. I bought a 4-family with partners a couple of months ago, and now, well, almost now I have this property. I actually won't be buying my 3rd property until 2023. And you might be looking at the time and thinking 30 plus days from the day that he's filming this, even though I'm not going to put this out probably for another week, should probably be closing before 2023. But I am not closing until early January just because of the holidays and everything. So if all of my goals for the year of 2023 was to just buy 1 property, I think it's safe to say that I'll probably do pretty well unless all of this doesn't go through. Now I'm really excited for this property. It's very cool. It hits that unique stay, cabin style stay that I'm really excited for. Gonna add things like cool outdoor games, jacuzzi, fire pit, just kind of that great cabin feel, but still that option for you to be able to glamp and have a nice place to stay. Another awesome thing about this location, like I mentioned, it has 5 acres on the property, and I've already talked to the county and the area about being able to add extra structures to the property. So my plan with this property, and I'm not going to rush into it, is to pretty much have this cabin. It's going to be able to cover the mortgage and offer me some cash flow, but because of all this extra acreage, I can put additional structures on it. So some things that I'm thinking of are tiny homes and potentially a tree house. I recently stayed at a really awesome treehouse stay over the weekend for the Thanksgiving period, and it was super cool, and that actually isn't too far from the place that I'm actually closing on, so it's definitely a good viable option. Tiny homes are pretty inexpensive. You're definitely going to have to run things like utilities, septic, you got to get water and electricity to the thing, but they are mobile. You can move them around and you can just plop them down, and they don't take up too much effort. And again, they're not very expensive, but they're very cool, beautiful, and unique. And like I said, for this property, I plan on using it for Airbnb, and I'm probably going to get somewhere between $150 to $200 a night for this stay. And it'll also do well during winter because a lot of people like that fire pit and jacuzzi stay during the winter, and then more people are traveling over the holidays in the summer, so it'll also do well during that period of time. I'm also quite close to the Durham area for this property, as well as Raleigh, and not too far from Greensboro and Burlington as well, so that can serve as a place for people to want to actually come to this property. There's not a ton of Airbnbs in this location, but there's a select few that are doing quite well, and I feel like because mine is going to be well as well, because I know what I'm doing, and Airbnb is really actually not too difficult. If you just put a little bit of effort into it, it's going to do well as well. So I'm pretty conservative with that $150 to $200 a night at about 60 to 70% occupancy. I think I'll probably be able to get closer to $200, but we'll see as we go. So even if that $150 amount, I'll still feel pretty good about that investment. And everything on top of the cabin will be really awesome because I can put on those tiny homes, start earning a similar amount, and this property definitely can make a lot of cash flow over time. And I've noticed with Airbnb, one of the most difficult things people have trouble with would be just figuring out that average daily rate, and there are a lot of calculators and things out there. I actually offer a rental analysis tool that you can find in my description below, but actually determining that rate, there are a few ways that you can do it. Either you can pretend like you're booking other Airbnbs in the area at different times of the year, days of the week, so you want to have week stays as well as weekends, over holidays, over off-season times, and see what it'll actually go for. You could also look at AirDNA, which I think can give you a good idea. It's not perfect, but at least get you in the realm of what it could be. Or you could call vacation rental management companies and see what they think that the property could get, making it seem like you want vacation rental management, but then you don't actually need to get it in the end. So if you're trying to figure out if it's a good opportunity for you to actually utilize as an Airbnb and you're struggling with figuring out what the rate would be, those are my 3 ways that I think you could be able to figure it out. Anyway, back to the property at hand, a little bit more numbers around it. Like I said, $290,000 under contract right now, 20% down, leaving with a $232,000 loan. And because interest rates are high, I'm going to be at 8.125% rate on this property. I'm also getting an adjustable rate mortgage because that's just what makes sense to me at this point in my time. And it's a 10-year adjustable rate mortgage, so it's not going to change until after 10 years. And within the 10 years that I'm going to own the place, definitely will be refinancing the property, especially after getting more structures and being able to increase the value and take some of my cash out so I can invest in more real estate. Like I said, this is kind of my 3rd property this year, technically my 2nd, and I started with a house hack way back in 2019, really not too long ago, and now I'm being able to put a lot more money down on the property. This is a $58,000 down payment. My very first property was an $18,000 down payment, and that felt like every single penny in the world that I had to be able to get together in order to actually buy that property. Now this property I'm buying is a couple $100,000 less, but the down payment is 3 times as much, if not a little bit more. And that's because over time, because I've built up my income streams, built up my cash flow from my rental properties, I've been able to save way more money. And the same thing happened with my Airbnb. That was about a $40,000 down payment, plus closing costs, plus renovations, and I was all in over $100,000, which seems like a lot of money. And I only launched that thing about 6 months ago, and I've already saved up to be able to pay for this new property upcoming in January. So people often ask me about the best way to get started in real estate. Airbnb sounds very cool, house hacking sounds very cool, and I always am going to say FHA loan house hack, where you move into a multi-unit property, 3.5% down, live in 1 unit, rent out the rest, covers your mortgage. It's very simple, very easy way to get involved in real estate. And as you're doing that, you're going to be building up cash flow, saving a lot of money, and then you'll have the opportunity to scale and buy more and more real estate. You don't have to go all in, do all these crazy fancy things. Often people are pushing Airbnb and I see them showing to their mentors or whoever that they're out there trying to sell things to buy a $1 million property in a luxury location. I feel pretty nervous about that kind of stay, in my opinion, especially in today's environment. People spending $500 to $1,000 a night to spend on an Airbnb, that will definitely slow down. Even if an economic crash happens tomorrow, it might not happen tomorrow that people stop going, but a year or 2 later, people will slow down that type of travel. In my opinion, local travel where you can drive and have more affordable stays like the $150 to $300 a night stays, people are going to want that because even in rough economic times, people are still looking for some type of vacation, not just doing nothing and sitting at home, especially if they have a little bit of cash and can afford it. But the first thing that always goes are luxury rentals. So that's why I feel pretty good about mine, why I feel pretty good about the price I'm getting in, as well as the interest rate. And again, like I said, getting into different types of real estate, I think the best way is to house hack, but as I've seen over the past few years, I've been able to stack more and more cash and invest into more real estate. And as far as pros and cons go for long-term rentals and short-term rentals, because I have both, I definitely prefer long-term rentals from a passive standpoint. I do far less work with those. They are definitely not nearly as much maintenance, and I don't just mean physical maintenance on the property, but maintenance in my head, thinking about pricing, upkeep, talking to the cleaner. Everything has to be absolutely perfect. I received my first 4-star review on my property, and it was very minor, minuscule things that they were upset about, and you always have to be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. The other thing that I like about Airbnb is that me and I can both do it together. She's really good at the design aspect. I think she could easily quit what she's doing with her PhD and be an interior decorator, designer, figure out renovations. She's really good at all of that stuff, which helps me quite a bit because I'm really bad at all of that stuff. So we work well as a good team, and it's something fun that we can do together. So really that's it. I just wanted to hop on here and share the exciting news. I am going to go over the rest of the process, how it looks with inspection as well as appraisal and anything before closing. If any of that type of stuff changes, I will go over that on my YouTube channel, and then anything that we plan to do with the property. Right now, the only renovation that it will most likely need, because it was built in 2017 and it's quite nice, is I'm going to build a bench type seating area near the kitchen, kind of just add more space and make the living area a lot more cohesive. expensive, as well as add a hot tub and fire pit, so there'll be some exterior work too. But other than that, it needs very little work because the mechanicals are updated, there's no water damage, has a metal roof which lasts over 100 years. So I'm really excited about this property from a maintenance perspective. It also has no grass, so very little landscaping. Someone will probably need to leaf blow once in a while, but potentially I can get the cleaner to do that kind of thing and just pay them for it. Hopefully you guys liked that video and it got you excited about investing in real estate even during these uncertain economic times. As long as you're buying property at good debt and a good purchase price, which you can offer less than the purchase price, which is what I did, and feel confident about the actual value looking at comps. I put a lot of down payment into this property so I don't feel too bad about the equity amount and feel insulated against any potential drops, as well as the numbers. I'm being very conservative about it and know I have the opportunity to refinance. So I'm not just saying to you out there pushing for my mentorship program or course or anything like that so that you buy it and then I'm not actually doing anything. I am still doing the things that I am preaching you guys out there to do. Go buy, hold it for a long time, and you will create that awesome generational wealth. So if you guys like that video, please hit that like button, turn it blue. I would really appreciate it. And hit subscribe if you want to learn more about financial freedom and investing in real estate. And if you guys like me here, I make a lot of videos on TikTok as well as Instagram in short form. So thanks again for watching, and more wealth is coming your way.